Hey, Dumpster Pals. Today we're going to talk about interviewing and the things you need to do to prepare yourself in order to land your first manager gig.
So when we're reviewing resumes, a person who has leadership experience is obviously going to stand out. That person is going to be easier to teach and coach and is going to cost less to get them on the floor running. However, if that person's character doesn't shine through, then you may actually be hiring somebody who you may regret. Just because a person has experience does not mean that they're the right fit for the job. So we're going to talk about interview answers and what you should be doing in your interview to make sure that you're shining through with your character and not just your experience. Let's jump into it. We have 9 interview tips that we're going to give you right now to help you have a successful interview and land your first nurse manager job. Tip number 1, listen to the whole question and answer the whole question. If you don't remember what they said, ask them to repeat it. If I am interviewing somebody and they answer a question that I didn't ask, I immediately think you don't know how to follow directions. And that's going to turn me off right away. I need a nurse manager who is able to follow directions and deliver on that. So if you can't follow a simple question that I asked you in an interview, and you go on a tangent that doesn't make sense, then I immediately am not feeling like you're the person that I want to hire.
So we're looking for detailed and concise answers. Kind of think like SBAR. But instead of recommendation, I want to hear what the outcome was. I want to know, how did that impact the area or the situation in which you implemented that story? Bonus, tell me what you learned in the process. That really shows me that you're teachable and you're willing to learn, or that you're introspective and you could look back at the situation and apply the things and experiences that you got from that.
And that's also showing that you're a growth-minded person, which ultimately is what we're looking for. Tip number 2, if you're in an interview and you're asked a question to talk about how you handle difficult conversations, please do not just talk about interactions you had with your patient. We know that nurses know how to take care of patients, and we know that you have patients who are going to be difficult. But we don't know if you know how to have a conversation with your peer or your supervisor. And that's what needs to stand out here. We need to know that as a manager, you're going to be able to have a difficult conversation with an employee, and you're going to be able to do it in a respectful and thoughtful way. So I want to hear an example that tells me that you know how to do that.
If you don't give an actual example, but you talk about how you do it without any real connection, that's just going to look like you know how to answer the question, but you haven't actually implemented it.
Bonus on this one is if you're able to describe when you try to give feedback and it doesn't work, and you're able to pivot and try something else that does work. That shows me that you're flexible and you're adaptable. And that's a huge win of what a character of a nurse manager looks like.
The next tip, number 3, is going to look like if you did a process improvement project and you have outcomes, but you actually bring the results with you and you share those with us. Not just, I did this thing and it improved things significantly, but I led a work group and we went from 70% per compliance to 92% compliance with the engagement of the team and the collaboration that we worked together on.
When it comes to giving examples about process improvement, the more concise but detailed you can give, the better. We're looking for your ability to deliver a lot of information in a short period of time so that it can have the best bang for its buck. Number 4, be prepared to talk about your weaknesses or your opportunities for growth. Now, I want you to be able to be honest about things that you need to work on, but I also want to know that you're working on those things. So if you have had trouble giving feedback that's not overly direct and harsh, I want to know that you're doing something to learn how to do that better. Are you in therapy? Are you taking Crucial Conversations classes? Are you reading a book on communication? How are you practicing that? So don't just tell me what your weakness is, but tell me how you're going to solve that. Because sometimes, even though I do appreciate that you're being honest about your weakness, I want to make sure that that's not going to be a hindrance in your ability to be a good leader.
Number 5, we want to hear about how you accept feedback. So we're going to want an example or have you find a way that if the question isn't asked directly, that you know how to graciously accept feedback and implement said feedback. Because the value of being able to utilize feedback and implement it is that you are teachable and redirectable, and that you aren't taking it personal and getting emotional about it. You're able to say, I don't have to be perfect, but I can always improve.
If you're asked a question about something that you would have done differently in the past, please give an honest example, but tell us what you would do differently in the future. We want to know that you can hold yourself accountable. We know that if you can't hold yourself accountable, your ability to hold your staff accountable is going to suffer. So make sure that you're being very genuine in those examples as well.
If I ask you about your strengths, don't tell me that you're just detail-oriented and organized. We're not hiring accountants, we're hiring leaders. We need people that not only are that, but have the characteristics of someone that we want. AI can handle some of those detail orientation things these days, so we want to hear about your relationship and team building skills. That's what we're looking for. We want to see how are you going to take information and use that information to generate engagement, teamwork, or advocate for your team using data and resources. That's where we are looking for someone that can really lead to high functioning teams.
So what Teresa's describing is if your strengths truly are data and detail orientation, this is how you can use that to bring it back to how you're still going to be able to create engagement and team building. So it's not to say that you can't talk about that if that's truly your strength, but use it in a way to bring it back to team health.
Correct.
Tip number 8, pay attention to your body language. This is something that we tend to forget about when we're anxious. So this is where interviewing practice can be very helpful. Think about sitting with your feet on the ground and your legs relaxed. Put your hands on your legs. Relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath. Smile. Shake your face. When you do all of those things, not only does it make you appear more relaxed, it actually makes you more relaxed. And that will come through in your interview. So make sure that you're practicing those things so that you're ready when you're in your actual interview. Give purposeful eye contact. Don't give hardcore staring. That's creepy. But do give eye contact for several seconds. And if there are several people in the panel, share that eye contact, distribute it fairly so that you're not lingering on one or two people specifically.
Number 9, if you're interviewing for a nurse leadership position, dress like it. Please do not show up in scrubs or in street clothes. We want to see that you're taking the time to present yourself well, and that you care about this position enough to take the time to appear as though you care.
Even if we are interviewing you in what appears to be casual dress clothes or street clothes, we still expect you to be dressed in professional wear because you're here for an interview, not us. We've earned the right to dress how we dress in accordance with our facilities directives, but you haven't earned that yet. So you need to come prepared, showing that you are ready to do what it takes to land the job. And if that means that you have to come and wear a suit and a tie, which makes you feel like you're choking, so be it. That's the image you need to come with.
Thanks for listening, Dumpster Pals. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get more notifications. If you found this helpful, please share it with other friends and nurse leaders so they can have the opportunity to grow.